Alright, chat. Everything should be working. Take two. What is going on, y'all? Right on, Squid. Call me Squid. What the fuck ever did. I recorded this morning a video of the very beloved Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time Run Hero of Law, and the mic footage and the full screen footage just didn't work, so I had to re-record it. So yes, my existing file will be overwritten, that's fine. But I'm just happy to finally get to play this game for the channel. You know, I say finally, bro. I've only had like a video, but like this is gonna be a great first introduction to me as a content creator. I'm just gonna be playing shit, showing y'all. As you can see, I'm a very big Ace Attorney fan, a very big Zelda fan. So I can't wait to fucking play this for all of y'all. And this mod's phenomenal, by the way. So let's just get into it. It's so quiet. Do you think they forgot? Forget a royal visitation. No one could make such a blunder, princess. Oh shit. Well, I guess just go in then. Hi, Zelda. Holy fuck. Oh my god, everything's in HD, bro. What the Also, town's dead. I want you to know, I already knew shit about this game, but I already played about 30 minutes of the game, and all my footage got fucking ruined, so back at it, bro. March 17th, 9:37 a.m. Hyrule Grand Court, defendant lobby number 3. You'd think after so many years of doing this, I get used to the stress. So why am I shaking? God, I guess it's a lot worse when it's your friend's life that's on the line. Come on, gotta look professional. She can't see you like this. Speaking of her though, where is she anyway? Hey, you over there. What is it, attorney? The trial isn't starting yet. But it will soon, right? Would you happen to know why my client isn't here yet? I didn't get to speak much with her when she was arrested, so I was hoping I could at least exchange a word with her now. Haha! Well, you weren't the only one with that idea. I believe she's currently in the prosecutor's office. You wanted to talk to her as well. I'm gonna fuck a few lines though, I'm not gonna lie. What? What is up with this guy? He bars me from the crime scene, blocks my detention center visits, and now this? Not to worry, she will definitely be here before the trial. Great. That'll be a joyous 5 minutes indeed. But there's nothing I can do but wait. Sometime later. Okay, this is ridiculous. How much longer can he keep her? Ah, see? There she is. No need to get all worked up. Is something wrong? Did I hear shouting? Oh, no, don't worry about that, Mal. Fucking, the writing is just so fucking, like, there for Ace Attorney. What the fuck? Get away from me. Sorry, I had like a thing pop up. So much for looking professional. No. Don't worry. Everything's fine. This is Malin. Ever since we met in Hyrule Castle Town all those years ago, we've been great friends. Her heart's in the right place. I know she cared deeply about her father. Everything's fine. Why do you look so... If everything's fine, why do you look so worried? Well... How did the investigation go? Did you find anything? Yeah, about that. Let me take a sip of water. Yes, the investigation. I found tons of, groundbreaking stuff. Particularly that my opponent is a real scumbag. What's the prosecutor want from you anyway? Well, it was mostly just threats. Kept explaining in detail what would happen to me if I'm found guilty. Doesn't sound like a vital discussion that needed to happen right before the trial. He probably just did that so we wouldn't have much time to talk. You believe me, right? I didn't do it. I'd never. Well, of course I believe you. Of course I believe you. Although I'll be honest, things aren't looking very good right now. So why did you tell her that, bro? What's that you got there? Oh, it's just a pictograph father I carried around. I just can't believe he's gone. I wish I knew I'd cheer her up right now. I'm not very good at handling emotional clients. Neither is me, bro. Hey, you know, that pictograph could be really useful for the trial. Oh? How so? Well, you look so happy together. I can present it to show that you two had a great relationship. Oh, look at her. You think so? With that little bit of light in her eyes. Ah, well, here you go then. Now it's a pictograph added to the court record. At least I'll be walking in there with something other than my badge. If you know, you know. But wait, we shouldn't just be idly chatting. Anyway, there's not much time left. I know it's hard to talk about, but could you tell me what actually happened? I don't stand much chance if I don't have your version of the story. I understand. Unfortunately, there isn't really much to it. The trial is starting. Defendant, attorney, please enter the courtroom at once. Uh-oh. Shouldn't have said that stuff about having no chance. Alright, everything will be fine. The prosecutor's been playing me for a fool since this began, but sooner or later, his arrogance will be his undoing. Let's head inside. My name is Link. I've been a defense attorney for the last 7 years. I've won my fair share of cases, and lost some too. But this one is personal. There's so much at stake here. Not only do I have to save Malon's life, but I've got to find out who did this to Talon. Talon, he was always so kind. He didn't deserve this. I need to do him justice. I can't lose this. Look at him over there, bro. He's smug ass. Court is now in session for the trial of Malon of Lon Ranch. The defense is ready, Your Honor. I sincerely doubt that. What were they thinking pitting me up against some pathetic kid? Pathetic kid? What gives you the right to... Still your tongue. Don't cheer upon the fine color of your hair, vile woman. Before long the world shall know the horrible deeds you've committed. Let's not prolong the inevitable, shall we? Now, the court is no place to be exchanging insults. Since the prosecution seems ready as well, let's hear their opening statement. The opening statement shall be the closing one. The girl did it, it's obvious. She killed her own father in cold blood. All so she could have the ranch to herself. Couldn't wait for the old fool to die naturally, could you, greedy little rat? Objection! Your Honor, you can't allow this man to verbally abuse the defendant like this. Objection. Ha! She committed the crime. The murder kid. She deserves every bit of scorn she gets. I do believe a little less commentary would go amiss. Bah! I assure you, man, you will change your opinion once you see all of the damning evidence. Who is this guy? How could he speak to the judge like that? Ganondorf Dragmire. Looks like I've been lucky to avoid meeting this man till now. The stories I've heard about him must be true. A boorish barbarian of a man hailing from the Gerudo province. Apparently he prides himself on the nearly clean streak he's cultivated for decades. All while disrespecting everyone in the court, including the judge. I've even heard some attorneys refer to him as the King of Evil. Definitely has the look, at least. Who wears full armor to court? Very well, please present your case to the court. You don't seem to like me talking, so I'll just let the detective present the basics. Bring Imp of the Sheikah Force to the stand. Well, here we go. The first battle. I know Impa. She's quite a competent detective. Which worries me. Please let her have made a mistake just this once. Alright, state your name and whatever it is you pretend to do. You never change, do you, prosecutor? Any possible change would be for the worst. Now, stop wasting time. Name and occupation. Oh, man. Very well. I am Impa, head detective of the Sheikah Force, Homicide Division. True for now, at least. Well, what are you waiting for? Start talking. You're the one assigned to this case, so you know all about it. What calamity has befallen our fair kingdom? Still can't be bothered to give a proper opening statement. I suppose I can do the prosecutor's job for him this time, for the sake of an unbiased look. Please go ahead, detective. The incident happened early yesterday morning on Bonbon Ranch, a local supplier of goods located just south of Castletown. The current owner of the homestead, Talon, was found dead in his ranch house. A tragic loss for our kingdom for sure. I have seen the man around Castletown a number of times delivering goods. Quite, the owner was a rather important figure in the local community. In any case, we were alerted to the scene of the murder by the Royal Guard. We were there on official business. Official business? What kind? As I understand, the ranch provides the kingdom with vital services to ensure it is operating as it should, and as a gesture of appreciation, the Crown orders a visitation to the ranch every year. I see. A scheduled annual visit. Good to you, detective. When the Sheikah Force arrived, they found the victim bleeding out on the floor. Next to him, lying his daughter, Malin, breathing but unresponsive. After a thorough investigation, we arrested her as she was deemed the possible culprit. That probably covers the gist of what happened. Very nice and succinct. Keep that up and perhaps you'll keep your job. Oh man, he's funny. It's classic fucking Mon Karma Edgeworth type energy. Oh, I don't think it's taken but here has anything to worry about that, given she is the head of the department. Which reminds me, why is the head of detectives herself on a case like this? Were the other detectives unavailable? That would be because I have been assigned to this case by order of the King Hyrule himself. Self-assigned who? Well, that doesn't happen very often, does it? You are correct, Your Honor. I am not usually involved in field work like this. This time, however, the king feels it necessary because of who is involved. Who is involved? The death of a ranch worker really such a concern for the king? Well, as I said, Lala Ranch is a very important supplier of goods, to be sure. But that's not who I meant. Oh, put that shit away and put it in your court. I imagined the king one of the top investigators on the job because it was the royal princess herself who discovered the crime scene. Order. I will have order. The royal Princess Zelda witnessed the crime? Ha! And there you have it. This case rides on the prince's own words. To doubt your own royalty. This is bad. I can't really object to that. Very well. If the princess is testifying today, it's better we don't make her needlessly wait. Detective, please testify about exactly why the defendant was arrested. Testimony time. Oh, baby. It's a staple of Phoenix Writing. So I actually want to work on my own, at least the writing for it. I'm going to make like a Hunter x Hunter styled one. This game really inspired me to do so. It is with regret that I agree to Dragmire. All the evidence points towards this girl being the culprit. We determined that the murder definitely took place in the ranch house. There were only 3 people on the ranch: the victim, the defendant, and a worker who has an alibi for the time of the crime. The defendant was found unconscious right in front of the victim, who was bleeding out onto the floor. Furthermore, she was holding a weapon. Without a doubt, that's what was used to kill the victim. She seems like such a bright girl. It's most unfortunate. Just a heads up, I'm going to be pressing everything to get dialogue options because I love showing off the writing. And just in general for these kind of games, I like to explore every nook and cranny, just so I can get all that, every bit of juice out of that sweet nectar, you know. Your Honor, I would like to submit these pieces of evidence to the court. First, I have the autopsy report poured by the Crown's top coroner. Autopsy report added to the court record. Here's where we determined the murder weapon, which we took from the defendant's hands. Saw added to the court record. To make sure we had the correct weapon, we conducted a very thorough investigation. Naturally, we searched everyone and thoroughly examined the ranch and its vicinity. Nothing unusual was found, but to be safe, we also checked the ranch's inventory list to see whether anything was missing. The list matches the items we found on the ranch exactly, and nothing but the saw had fresh blood on it. Well, that does sound quite compelling. Must have been a truly terrifying scene. Dying from a wound made by a weapon like this is extremely painful. This only helps to prove the defendant's viciousness. At this rate, they're gonna paint Mal as some heartless monster. There's only one more thing I feel I should mention for the sake of completeness. Shortly after we arrived at the ranch, the courier showed up to take some milk shipments. Of course, business must go on. Is it really necessary to enter the evidence, though? The shipments did end up leaving the ranch, so I bears mentioning. Were the contents checked before you let them go? Naturally. What do you take us for? Even though the worker handling the shipments did get quite worked up about it, we cracked all the boxes open to check what was inside. In the end, it turned out to be only milk bottles, so we let them through. Very well. Thank you for your thoroughness, detective. No shipments added to the court record. Bet. So, what happens now? Well, this is where I step in and perform a cross-examination. Ah, great. How does that work? Huh? Can you explain what you're gonna be doing? Can't hurt to go over this again. Nah, I have no need, bro. Sorry, but there's no time for that. We have to get started right away. Oh, alright then. I'll try my best to follow along. You know what you're doing. There you go, Val. I sure hope I do. This might not be easy. I should just keep in mind that I can press left C, right C stick to skip through text. The defense is ready to cross-examine the witness. Bah, a waste of time. I sincerely hope you're not implying the standard court procedure is a waste of time, Mr. Dragmire. In any case, we're ready, defense. Please begin the cross-examination. Cross-examination. The reasons for arrest. Alright. No, that's useless. Some of these you don't need to press because you're not getting anything out of it besides, they're getting there. Hold, slow your roll, Buster, fucking type shit. So, we determined the ranch house. Definitely took place, yeah, definitely took place in the ranch house. And just how did you do that? It's quite simple. There was no blood found anywhere else. Had the victim been attacked at some other location, we'd expect a trail of it leading to the scene. Couldn't the killer just have cleaned it all up? Certainly not. The path to the ranch house Lawn Ranch is not paved in any way. Cleaning blood off the ground would require disturbing the soil. Naturally, we found nothing of the sort. Bah. Wouldn't have been enough to pull that off anyway. There wouldn't have been enough time to pull it off anyway. Likely true. Right. It sounds like the location of the crime is pretty firm, but I'm not giving up yet. There were only 3 people on the ranch. Yep. Let me check on this one. What's that alibi, buddy? 3 people, you say? I guess that would have to be Mr. Ingo. Objection! Let me stop you before you start getting too excited. If you would listen to the rest of what the detective said, she mentioned an alibi. Indeed, I'm pretty certain that the ranch worker couldn't have been involved. Well, what is this alibi then? You might remember that I brought up the outgoing milk shipments. Well, the worker, Ingo, was in charge of them. He left the ranch first thing in the morning and was busy preparing the shipments after that. Is that so? Surely he could have gotten away with gotten away from that for one really quick little murder. Objection. Ah, this won't just be a quick little murder, as you so crudely put it. He'd have to have taken steps to hide his involvement too. There was definitely enough time for that. Unfortunately, I agree. Preparing a shipment is a lot of work. You have to milk all the cows, clean all the bottles, pour the milk into them, rearrange them into crates, and finally load it up onto the wagon. Usually I had to do it together with Father to finish before the courier arrived. The shipments were already ready when we arrived at the ranch. When we checked the boxes, they were all fully loaded with filled milk. So this Ingo was able to do the work of 2 people on his own. Isn't that a bit odd? Objection. Odd or not, he evidently did just that. Clearly he was a man dedicated to his job. Or perhaps the girl and her father were just very inefficient. This whole thing seems awfully suspicious if you ask me. But I guess I have to dispute it with. The Fiddle was found unconscious or infirm. Yep. Press that. Malin faded? Correct. We couldn't get her to wake up for herself for a long time. Eventually, we decided to administer a healing fairy so she could be questioned. I guess finding the body was just that much of a shock, huh? Probably just pretending. Trying to make it look like she had found the body. In any event. Furthermore, she was holding a weapon. Without a doubt, it was used to kill the victim. Hold it. How can you be so sure of that? Look at the autopsy report. Deep irregular wound made of a sharp metal object. The saw is the only sharp implement in the ranch house that can produce such a wound. And, as I mentioned before, we also looked closely at all the other sharp things in the ranch. None had a recent blood on them. That still doesn't necessarily mean the saw was the murder weapon. Maybe the real culprit had the real run. Objection. Oh yeah, prove it then. Show us the real murder weapon. Well, I definitely don't have any way to do that. Still, something bothers me about that saw. So, you have nothing new. What a waste of time. I think the last one's whatever, so yeah. Smush the bright girl, yeah, that's nothing. So, it's very easy to tell what we gotta do here. If you notice, the saw is, as the description says, very aptly completely clean of blood. With the wound caused, there's no way. There's no way that's the murder weapon. Huh. This seems like a fairly large oversight. Just want to make sure of something. The state the saw currently is in is how you found it at the scene of the crime. That's correct. That's strange, considering how much the victim bled out and how deep this wound was. Why is there no blood on the supposed murder weapon? Ha! Is that all you have? Yeah? Naturally, the prosecution has an explanation for why the saw is clean. Behold, this cloth was found in the defendant's other hand. As you plainly see, it is stained with blood. The defendant simply wiped the murder weapon in a futile attempt to hide her involvement. Objection! If Malin was trying to hide her involvement, why did she just leave the scene of the crime scene? Bah! Obviously, she was trying to hide the body before the royal visitation arrived at the ranch. Unfortunately for her, it just so happened the delegation arrived quite a bit earlier than scheduled. In panic, she quickly wiped the saw off and pretended to faint to make it look like she just stumbled upon the scene. Gah! Young lady, things are not looking very good for you right now. The court accepts the bloody cloth into evidence. Bloody cloth and the court record. So, what's the story with this cloth? Well, as I was doing the final check around the ranch, I noticed that part of the fence around the horse paddock was damaged. Not entirely sure when that happened, but sometimes when the horse just gets a bit too rowdy, you know. Right. Anyway, I didn't want to bother Mr. Ingo about it, so I tried to cut up a new rail by myself to patch it up. But when the saw slipped, I cut my hand open. Oh my goddesses, are you okay? Well, it wasn't that bad. It did bleed quite a lot though, so I used the cloth to quickly bandage the wound. I was actually going into the ranch house to ask Father to help me with the fence. Ha! A likely story. And impossible to verify now, of course. The Sheikah Force had to use a fairy on the defendant to get her out of her supposed unconsciousness. I do have to give her some credit. She is one cunning woman. She knew that would explain the sudden lack of any wound on her hand. Oh, why yes, fairies are wonderful. Just the other day I slurred my hand with the gavel, and one that took the pain away immediately. Why would you use it for that shit? Great. Glad I know they're used for such important things. But dang it. Too bad there's no way to tell whose blood is on the cloth. Yeah, they have no fucking technology for that shit. Fucking highly black magic. I do believe this battle has been settled. I am ready to call my next witness. Uh-oh. Is there like a get out of her? You've served your purpose, Sheikah. Be gone. Fine. But you would best treat Highness with respect, or I'll see to it that you spend the night in the dungeons. Do not presume to threaten me, Sheikah. A night in darkness and solitude will be nothing but comfort for me. Is that so? Then perhaps we should fill the dungeons with lit candles for the occasion. I love their glaring daggers at each other. If this isn't soon, we're all in trouble. Oh, they would fucking square up, right? You know for a fact they would. That shit's so funny though, bro. They have, it's that classic Ace Attorney, like, rivalry type energy. It's fucking lovely. Order! Order! I'm sure we'll treat the princess with utmost respect. You may step down, detective. This case has already made me weary with this pointless jabber. The time is ripe to deal the final blow. I call Her Highness Princess Zelda of Hyrule to the stand. Hi, Zelda. And with that, I will be ending this part off here, however, purely because this one's supposed to be the way. Look at all their fucking reactions. Oh, shit. Okay, yeah, I'll end this part off here, but that was such a fucking great introduction to that. Here, let me save state, and this is the end of part 1, y'all. I'll definitely see y'all in part 2. Deuces.